verify trigonometric identities. What we're going to do is verify this particular identity here, which is that if we have 1 plus sine theta over cosine theta plus cosine theta over 1 plus sine theta equals 2 secant theta. So usually our strategy is going to be to take the most complicated looking side, which is going to be our left side, and work with it to simplify to equal our right side. And we have a toolkit that we're going to use for that, and that's going to be other trigonometric identities. One important identity that we're going to be able to use here is called the Pythagorean identity, which is sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. And also, there are reciprocal identities that we can use. And the most important one we're going to use here is 1 over cosine theta is equal to secant theta. So basically, the secant trigonometric ratio and the cosine trigonometric ratio are reciprocals of each other. So those are the things we're going to be using here. And basically our algebraic skills and simplifying. So we have two separate fractions here on the left, and what we're going to do is combine them into a single fraction by using a common denominator. And the common denominator, which I label here as CD, can be found by taking both of these two denominators and multiplying them by each other. So if we take cosine theta times quantity 1 plus sine theta, that is going to be our common denominator. So we're going to continue by working on the left side of this equation, and we take this first rational fraction, 1 plus sine theta over cosine theta, and ask ourselves the question, what do we have to multiply our denominator by to get our common denominator? Well, that's going to be this quantity 1 plus sine theta. Okay, and then since we put 1 plus sine theta in the denominator, we need to do what? Put it also in the numerator. So we put 1 plus sine theta. And we have plus cosine theta over, we have quantity 1 plus sine theta, and what do we have to multiply the denominator by to equal our common denominator? Well, it's going to be simply cosine theta. And again, numerator multiplied by cosine theta. And so we're going to rewrite this expression here, putting everything together. So we have 1, numerator 1, and we're multiplying these together. 1 times 1 is going to be 1 plus 1 times sine theta plus 1 times sine theta. So we have 2 sine theta, and then we have plus sine squared theta, and on the here cosine times cosine is going to be plus cosine squared theta, and then we're going to write our denominator here, cosine theta times quantity 1 plus sine theta. Okay, and on the right side we still have this 2 secant theta. And I didn't do it for this next one, but it's going to be the same thing all the way down. So typically, you might see this just not dealt with at all and bring it back at the very end. Okay, now, do you notice something here? Do you notice something? You should. What do we have here? Well, we have this sine theta times plus cosine theta, so that's going to be what? 1. So we put 1 plus 2 sine theta plus 1 over cosine theta times quantity 1 plus sine theta. And of course, that's going to be equal to 2 secant theta. Okay, so now, do we see anything in common? We got this 1 plus 1, which is 2. So let's just write here 2 plus 2 sine theta over cosine theta times quantity 1 plus sine theta. And that's going to continue to equal to 2 secant theta. Do you see that things are kind of working out here? Well, we can factor this 2 plus 2 sine theta on top, which is going to be 2 times quantity 1 plus sine theta. And in the denominator, we have cosine theta times quantity times quantity 1 plus sine theta. What do you notice here? What we have is we can cancel 1 plus sine theta in the numerator and the denominator. So we have on the left here 2 over cosine theta. And using our reciprocal identity, that's going to be equal to 2 secant theta. So that'll check out to be our correct answer. So we've verified this identity, and really that's all there is to it. Again, generally start from the most complicated looking side of the equation and work with it using identities to see if you can simplify and get down to what you have on the other side of the equation. That's it. Good luck, and thanks for viewing.